Hello, good morning, students. Today we are going to take the second story of Lost Spring. The first story we have already taken. Now we are going to take the second story, that is I want to drive a car. This is a story about Mukesh. Again, a boy who has been employed in a bangle making factory. This is a story about this boy Mukesh. Through the story of Mukesh, the author Anis Jung is trying to depict the plight of the miserable condition of bangle makers. So, I want to drive a car. Mukesh insists on being his own master. I will be a motor mechanic, he announces. His wish is, he is very hopeful. Like, you must have seen that Sahib was not very hopeful about his bright future. But Mukesh, he says that I will be a motor mechanic, though he is doing the job of bangle making. Do you know anything about cars? I ask. I will learn to drive a car, he answers, looking straight into my eyes. His dream looms like a mirage. Mirage, an intuition, illusion. When you think that there is some hope, but actually it's not there. So this is a sort of illusion. Amidst the dust of streets that fill his own town, Firozabad, famous for its bangles. So his dream of becoming a motor mechanic was like a mirage. It was like an illusion that is not going to be fulfilled at all. He works in the bangle factory in Firozabad. His town is Firozabad. Firozabad is very famous for bangle making. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. It is the center of India's glass blowing industry, where families have spent generations working around furnaces, welding glass, making bangles for all the women in the land, it seems. Mukesh family is among them. None of them know it is illegal for children like him to work in the glass furnaces with high temperatures, though you know that it is illegal for the children below the age of 14 to employ in any sort of job or profession. And Mukesh also doesn't know about it. He is just busy in doing his job in the bangle making factory. In dingy cells, without air and light, and the law, if enforced, could get him and all those 20,000 children out of the hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours, the whole complete day they spend in these hot furnaces, often losing their brightness of their eyes. These are the hazards of working in a bangle making factory, that they lose the brightness of their eyes. Mukesh eyes beam as he volunteers to take me home, which he proudly says is being rebuilt. So Mukesh takes the author Anis Jung to his home. We walk down stinking lanes, just see the condition of the place where he and the other families like him live. Stinking, giving very foul smell. Lanes choked with garbage, past homes that remain hovels with crumbling walls, weak walls, wobbly, very weak doors in a very pathetic condition, no windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in a primitive state. He stops at the door of one such house, bangs a wobbly iron door with his foot, and pushes it open. He opens the door. We enter a half-built shack, a half-built room. In one part of it, thatched with dead grass, is a firewood stove, over which sits a large vessel of sizzling spinach leaves. So they just look at the stove, and over which there was a vessel in which spinach leaves were being cooked. On the ground, in large aluminium platters, are more chopped vegetables. This is the scene of his house, inside his house. A frail, a very weak young woman is cooking the evening meal for the whole family. Through eyes filled with smoke, she smiles. She is not sad at the very pitiable condition of her family. She is the wife of Mukesh, elder brother, not much older in years. She has begun to command respect as the Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house. Already in charge of 3 men, her husband means Mukesh brother, Mukesh and their father. When the older man enters, she gently withdraws behind the broken wall and brings her veil means dupatta, closer to her face. As custom demands, daughters-in-law must wear their faces before male elders. So this is a tradition of our country, that before the male elders, the ladies, the women of the house, they have to cover their face with their dupattas. In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. Despite long years of hard labor, first as a tailor, he used to do the tailoring job, then a bangle maker, he has failed to renovate a house, send his two sons to school. He could not send his sons to school. He could not afford to have so much income that he could send his sons to school. All he managed to do is to teach them what he knows, the art of bangle making. So this has become a family tradition. The father and his sons, they all are doing the same job, that is making bangles. It is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh grandmother, who has watched her old husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. Again, a very severe hazard of working in the bangle factory, that people go blind. Can a God given lineage ever be broken? She says that this is a God given lineage. This is a tradition which has been decided by God. She implies, born in the caste of bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles. In the house, in the yard, in every other house, every other yard, in every other street in Firozabad. Spiral of bangles, sunny gold, different colors of bangles are there. Paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the 7 colors of the rainbow. See, this is the beauty of bangles, but just see the condition of the people who are making these beautiful bangles. Lie in mounds and unkempt yards, are piled on 4-wheeled handcarts, pushed by young men along the narrow lanes of the shanty town. Now these people are going to sell their these beautiful bangles. They are going to sell these bangles in the market. And in the dark hutments next to the lines of the flames of flickering oil lamps sit boys and girls with their fathers and mothers, welding pieces of colored glass into circles of bangles. It is a very difficult, it's a very tedious job to weld pieces of very small colored glasses into the circles of bangles. You must have seen the bangles. The pieces of glasses are there. Okay, their eyes are more adjusted to the dark, because from the dawn to dusk, from the morning to evening, they are inside the rooms, inside the dark rooms, working in those rooms. So their eyes have not seen the sunlight. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. They lose their eyesight. Okay, so they go blind. Savita, a young girl in a drab pink dress, sits alongside an elderly woman, soldiering pieces of glass as her hands move mechanically like the tongs of a machine. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangles. She is doing this job, tedious job, but she doesn't know the sanctity, the holiness of the bangles she helps make. The bangles symbolize an Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. It will dawn on her suddenly one day when her head is draped with a red swill, when she'll become a bride, when she'll get married. Only then she'll come to know about the sanctity about the importance of these bangles. Her hands dyed red with henna and red bangles rolled on to her wrist. She will then become a bride like the old woman beside her who became one many years ago. But there is no use of it, because her condition has become very bad. She still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. See the irony. She has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. She has lost her eyesight working in those बैंगल मेकिंग फैक्ट्रीज. एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया, she says in a voice drained of joy. Drained of joy means she is not happy at all. She says we cannot afford to even have one full meal in a day, in an entire lifetime. That is what she has reaped. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, says, I know nothing except bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in. So the only thing which they could have, that was the house they could make to live in. And the condition of the house was also very pitiable. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. That was the only thing which they could afford. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. This is the condition of every home in that vicinity, in that locality. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Years of mind-numbing toil have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. So now these people who are involved in this bengal making factories, they are they don't have they don't dream, they don't have hopes for the bright future. Why not organize yourselves into a cooperative? I asked a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trapped their fathers and forefathers. A very important question. Now, Anis Jung asked one group of young men that why don't you organize yourselves into cooperative societies? Why don't you make your own cooperative societies? And if you have your own cooperative societies, you will have more benefit. But they are caught in the vicious circle of middlemen who trapped their fathers and forefathers. But the middlemen are there, and these middlemen they taking advantage of them. They are taking it for granted. Even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police. So the police, they are scared of the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal. They say there is no leader among them, no one who would help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed to injustice. So their condition is so poor, and the police and the other bureaucrats, all these people are also involved in this vicious circle, and they are not able to come out of that vicious circle. So even if they form their cooperative society, even if they form their own groups for selling the bangles in the market, they will be beaten up by the police, they will be caught by the police for doing some illegal job. Okay, listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened. Now listening to them, Anis Jung says that when I was listening to them, I could see only two different worlds. Two different worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty like Mukesh, and the second one was by the stigma of caste in which they are born, and the other is a vicious circle of the sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. All these people are living in the second world, which is a world full of a very rich section of the society. So these two entirely different groups living at the same place, and the other section, sahukar, middlemen, policemen, keepers of law, bureaucrats, politicians, they are taking advantage of these poor people. Together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. To do anything else would mean to dare. So he says that to do anything else other than making bangles, other than doing this job is bangle making factory. If he thinks other than this, it means he's daring. He's doing something very, very different which he cannot do. And daring is not a part of his growing up. He has been grown up in such a manner that he cannot dare to do something else. He has to follow the tradition of his family. When I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats, but he is very hopeful. He says, I want to become a motor mechanic. He will go to a garage and learn, but the garage is a long way from his home. Garage is a long way from his home. This is a very symbolic line. It shows that it is a very long way to go to fulfill his dream. I will walk, he insists. Do you also dream of flying a plane? He is suddenly silent. When Anis Jung asks this question, do you also want to fly a plane? And then he becomes suddenly silent because, no, he says, staring at the ground in a small murmur, there is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. Then he got embarrassed because he thought that Anis Jung was making fun of his dream of becoming a motor mechanic. So he says he is content to dream of car that he sees hurtling down the streets of his own. Few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. Again, this is a very symbolic line. Few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad means very, very few people in Firozabad could dream of could dream so high as of flying an aeroplane. So his dream is not so high. He is satisfied with his dream of becoming a motor mechanic, but he knows that his dream is not going to be fulfilled, and he will have to follow his father's tradition, his forefathers' tradition, that is making bangles in the bangle making factory. So this is the condition of bangle making factories. Okay.